Thank you and good evening. The Maryland General Assembly in 2013. Let me just say a couple of things off the top. An unchallenged monopoly isn't good for you individually, isn't good in business, and I can tell you, when looking at the members of the Maryland General Assembly and the Maryland Senate in particular, it's not good in politics either. What I want to leave you with tonight is the idea that 2013 in the General Assembly was certainly one of the most challenging years of the 11 that I've served. But you need to know that Senator Kittleman, Senator Glassman, Senator Brinkley, Senator Riley, Senator Getty, and the other members of the Maryland Senate challenged the monopoly every single day in the Maryland General Assembly. What do I mean by this? You know, the Democratic monopoly proposed the strictest gun laws in the country. They spent 90 days working on a list of guns and a licensing procedure. They'll do nothing, absolutely nothing, to improve the safety of the citizens of the state of Maryland. But Kittleman, Brinkley, Riley, and others, they stood and proposed changes in the mental health laws related to guns, security resource officers in the schools, and the idea that if criminals use guns and they commit the crimes, that they wouldn't get time off for good behavior. Real solutions, real problems. For real problems, the monopoly was challenged by your representatives in the Maryland Senate and the legislature. When it came to the death penalty, the monopoly Democrats repealed it after a very emotional debate in which people looked into their hearts and laid out the game plan of what this might do in being able to prosecute those that commit the most heinous crimes in our society, and what we can and can't do to stop them. But the Republicans in the Maryland General Assembly and in the Senate put forth other ideas. We already have the toughest death penalty in the country. The removal of it, many of us believe, will not lead to a safer Maryland. A wind tax. The Democratic majority passed the wind tax. Ladies and gentlemen, I will stand up here in front of you. I will go onto Baltimore Street. I will go anywhere in the country and say, this is the dumbest idea ever. Why is the wind tax to pay for wind farms or over Ocean City the dumbest idea ever? Yes. There are many, many reasons, but let's just start with this. The power that comes from it, 3 to 4 times more expensive than conventional power. You know, when you get in your car and go to Ocean City over the coming weeks of the summer, you know when we need the most power to run our air conditioners? In July and August. If you've ever been to Ocean City in August, does the wind blow when you really get to drive? But you know what? Governor O'Malley and his Democratic cronies and the monopoly in the General Assembly passed a multi-billion wind bill that will be miles more expensive. And you need to know that the members of our caucus and the other Republicans in the General Assembly proposed an alternative. Our idea? Let's take the gas that's already under the ground in Western Maryland. Let's frack it. Let's use it. We should clean up our environment and at the same time cut our electric bills. But the monopoly didn't listen. And last, the gas tax. You know, the fact of the matter is 92% of Marylanders pay for 8% of the rest of Maryland to use mass transit in the state. And it's costing us billions of dollars, and we need to change our priorities away from the big mass transit systems in the DC suburbs in Baltimore City. And if the Baltimore City and Montgomery County and Prince George's County want a red line and a purple line that's going to cost $4 billion, let them pay for it, not us. I would say, you can't go anywhere in the state of Maryland. Yeah, it's tough for us from time to time, but you can't go anywhere with any conversation without somebody, when they say, you're in the Maryland General Assembly? What's with that rain tax thing? What's with that rain tax? Well, that's what happens when monopoly government takes place. And when they say to you, well, is Maryland helpless? Should we stay and fight? Should we give you money for your campaign? Should we care who the next governor is? Should we care how many senators there are? Let me just leave you with two thoughts. In the current prison scandal that's going on in Baltimore City, you had a group of people who took over the detention center and ordered crimes against citizens that were on the outside. And you know what the monopoly governor said? You know what he had the nerve to look in the camera and say to us? It was all part of my grand plan. Where can you get away with that? That puts our safety at risk. That monopoly needs to be stopped. Tonight, as you sit here, we are 14 days away from two of the governor's appointments, his Secretary of Health and the head of the Maryland Healthcare Commission, for making a decision that's going to impact what's called the Medicare waiver. It's going to change the way healthcare gets delivered in the state of Maryland and could lead to rationing of healthcare. Yet these two gentlemen are locked away in a room, and in 14 days that's going to be decided, and we have no idea what its outcome is. But we do know that their grand plan has never been tried or tested anywhere else in the country and could lead to rationing. So when the day-to-day life, whether it is the death penalty, whether it is the gas tax, whether it is the wind tax, the rain tax, your gun rights, whether it's the safety of you in the streets, you know what? I can't think of one thing from the great movie Animal House, where John Belushi looked at his fraternity brothers and said, guys, it ain't over until we say it's over. And ladies and gentlemen, let's leave this room tonight with the strength and excitement to go out and make sure we continue to fight.